Now, it's day one of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and it's been a successful opening for England and Scotland with medals in the triathlon. Alex Yee won the men's event with a storming run to come from behind, and Georgie Taylor-Brown took silver in the women's, just ahead of Scotland's Beth Potter, who got bronze. Off the track, a charity called Craftspace has given out more than 4,500 gifts to athletes and dignitaries. They reimagined the idea of Birmingham as the workshop of the world as part of efforts to make visitors feel a particular welcome in the city. Well, let's talk now to Deirdre Figueredo, the director of Craftspace, and Mahawa Keita, who made many of the gifts that have been handed out. Goodness, for both of you, this has been a pretty time-consuming 3 months. Let me start first of all with how did this come about, Deirdre? Can you explain the background to it?
The background to it is that we were invited to make a proposal for the Commonwealth Games, and what we thought was, because we're a craft organisation and because of the heritage of the city being the workshop of the world and city of 1,000 trades, we thought as a craft organisation we must make a project that was about making and about materials, and that gave some kind of presence around the skills and the innovation that is in this city, and involve the people in making gifts for the athletes instead of the mass-produced gifts that they would normally be given.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember back when the European Union Council came to Birmingham for a summit back in 1992, and there was some pretty kind of trite, tart comments about some of the gifts that the government had organised and whether they really represented the spirit of Birmingham. Mahawa, can you tell me, good evening to you, can you tell me about some of the gifts you made and kind of what inspired you to choose the materials and the objects?
Oh yeah, the main inspiration is how we can make something handcrafted that's going to be inspired by Birmingham, its people, its history, and how we can bring people together through craft. So we went for the colours of the Commonwealth flags. The whole colour palette represents all the colours of the 71 flags to 72 flags, and then the materials are all locally sourced. They're all from Birmingham, from local businesses, and we made sure the materials also, the fabrics represents all cultures in Birmingham. So yeah, that's where we got our inspiration from.
We're just looking at that just down to your left. How long did that take?
Oh, that took us nearly 7 to 9 hours to make for the big gift, yeah. But the small gift during the workshops were taking like 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the abilities, because we work with all abilities. So, yeah.
Given that you're talking about...
people were making one or more.
Deirdre, 4,600 gifts is the number I've seen. That's an awful lot of workshops, an awful lot of people, and an awful lot of dedication.
It's a lot of workshops, but we were determined to do it, and we actually exceeded the target. We made 4,700, and we really did go to every corner of Birmingham and a little bit outside of Birmingham as well, to all sorts of communities, encouraging people. So there were over 100 workshops and more than nearly 4,000 people from children in school to community centres. Sometimes we were in community cafes where on the one side there would be a food bank and a community cafe, and on the other side we would be there with our making tables. We went to all sorts of places, so everyone could take part and nobody had to have any skills. So we turned up with a beautiful kit, all the materials to hand, and people could just come and sit and talk. And the conversations that we overheard and the friendships we saw being made, and what we were really hoping for was people making a connection. So you see the gifts that I have here with me, so that they're made of 2 metal washers, a humble washers made locally in Oldbury by Stevens Gaskets, and people, when they used wrapping and knotting and embroidery, and then the last thing they would do would be to join them together.
Gotcha.
And that moment was about friendship and connection.
It's a lovely thought. Mahawa, can I end with you? How would you like the gifts to be received? What would you hope would be the feeling that they inspire from the people who receive them?
Someone asked me that question, like, how are they? Do you think they will like the gift? And what I thought was like, people coming together with this thinking and actually sitting, taking their time to make this with pride and telling our story, like people of Birmingham telling our story. I think they're gonna appreciate it and they're gonna take it home and tell Birmingham's story to the rest of the world.
I really hope so.
And cherish, yeah.
Deirdre and Mahawa, I'd love to talk more, but we have to leave it there. Can I just say, though, that you and your fellow crafters have really reinvigorated that wonderful phrase, made in Birmingham. Thank you very much.